going on YouTube? It's your boy QDG coming to you live with a new video. Alright, today's tutorial video, I'm going to show you guys how to do a shadow taper on the sides and a skin taper in the back. Alright, it's very simple, very easy. I'm going to be using detachable blades and plastic attachments. So using my masters and my Oster octanes. Okay, so get your pens and paper together and we're going to get you started on this video. Alright, what's going on, guys? Hope you guys are going to enjoy this video. So we're going to get busy right here. First off, I'm starting off with my 2-blade with my Oster octane, setting up my highest peak for a guideline. I just do this to set like a perimeter run for me, so it tells me where I don't go too high or too low. So right here I'm going with my 1-blade, I believe. Yeah, my 1-blade for a fact, midway between, like, to the highest point of the ear, and midway between like the one where I'm about to set my initial guideline. So right here I have my master's 1-blade, and I'm lever playing the one guideline. So right now I'm just being real consistent with my strokes, staying in that fading realm, and slowly closing my lever and opening my lever. Just lever playing it. Right there I have my 0 guard. Right now I have my 0 guard. I'm staying at that fading realm right there, and you can see the fade is coming real good. Staying real consistent with my strokes. Staying in that same fading tempo realm. Right here I have my 2 guard right here on my masters, fully closed, flicking out and a scooping out motion, so to say. Staying, like, it doesn't really look like I'm scooping out, but I'm doing little baby scoop outs, and I'm going at that area where that line is where I set my 2-blade guideline. Right there, I just stepped back, looked at my work from a distance. Now right now I'm just doing detail work, making sure my blend is looking real blurry, so to say. Just cleaning up here and there, using my corners. Alright, back here, this is where I start my skin taper in the back. I'm setting my first ball guideline using my wall detailers. Yes, those are 0 gaps. And wall details are probably like one of the best hitters straight out the box. I mean, I didn't have to 0 gap my wall detailers, but I did because I dropped my trimmers like a while ago or whatever. So the blade was like crooked, so I had to 0 gap them. There's no other way. So right now I just set my ball guideline at the bottom. Alright, so right here I'm back with my 2-blade on my Oster octane, setting up my highest peak, my highest perimeter, telling myself where not to go too high when it comes to doing my blends. I'm staying real consistent, sitting and making a clean, neat guideline, making sure that line is straight, going straight across. Alright, so right here I have my 1-blade, just like how I did on my side shadow taper. So right here I have my 1-blade, setting in my middle guideline. I always set that guideline between the highest peak, which is my 2, and my lowest peak, which is my ball line. Making sure my guide, I'm going over everything multiple times, making sure my guide is neat and clean. Making sure my line is real even. Right now I have my 2 guard with my masters fully closed, fading at that top 2 guideline, flicking out. Staying real consistent with my strokes, staying in that fading realm, not going too high, and I'm flicking out. Make sure you flick out. Do not ever lay your blades flat. Notice how I'm always combing the hair down. That's a good thing to do. Right here I have my masters, my one guard masters like what, halfway right now. I always down. I always I don't always like close it automatically when I go at a guideline. I always like go halfway if anything, which is like the third notch on there, the middle notch. And then by looking at it, I look in my mirror, and that tells me if I'm not knocking out the guideline or not. And if I'm not, then I'll start to close it slowly, going down to the fourth notch to the fifth. So as of right now, I'm just lever playing it. I believe I'm fully closed right now. Staying real consistent. And the one guard is not always gonna like knock out. The one guard is not always gonna knock out that guideline. The zero guard really knocks it out. I always use my zero guard to knock out the ball line. But sometimes, depending on how the hair texture is, the one will not always knock out the one guard. So I always use my zero guard to knock it out. Sometimes you might have to, sometimes you might not. But I'm a perfectionist, so to say. But yeah, as you guys can see, the taper is coming real blurry. It's coming out real nice. Just making sure my strokes I'm fitting in that temple realm. And right here, I believe, yeah, that's my zero guard right now, fully closed, doing some detail work, making sure my fade is coming out real blurry. Look at that, man. That's so good, man. I'm glad I became a barber. So right here, I have my masters I have my masters like halfway. I always start halfway. Always, no matter what. Start halfway, and I believe, I can't really see this, things in the way. But right now, I believe I'm slowly closing, as you can see. When I turn my clippers over to show you guys or whatever, I'm showing you what notch I'm on right now. I believe, I can't really see this, just a recording thing in the way. I'm doing my voiceover, but I believe I'm fully closed right now. Using my corners, I'm flicking out. Make sure, man, you gotta be really careful when it comes to knocking out the bottom guideline, because you can easily set in a new guideline. So make sure you are flicking out and using your corners always, no matter what. And make sure you have that comb in your hand. Make sure you're combing that hair. What the comb does, it separates each individual hair, so you don't have to so the hair's not, how do I say it, on top of each other. You want to separate each individual hair, so that's what the comb is used for. I don't use a brush because brushing is similar to how you get waves. Yeah, so use a comb. Yeah. All right, so right here, I already explained my process on the left side. Right now, just watch the right side. Alright, so right here I'm using my wall detailers. Just doing a simple lineup. When it comes to lining up the back of the ear, I always start from the bottom of the neck going up into the ear. And I use like the way the hair, the natural, the way the hair, I cannot talk for some reason. The way that the hair goes and how it naturally goes, I dig into it just a little bit so you can see that crisp line. You can see the line is looking really good right now. Make sure you don't go too high up in top of the ear because it looks kind of funny, whatever. But the way his hair is, the way his hair flow is, the way it's going, it's not really you can do much about it. Right there, I'm starting at the bottom of the sideburns, going up into it. When I line up, I always touch and pull out. So I guess you can say, not necessarily tap and go, but I tap and go basically. Yeah, and right now I'm using the left corner, whatever. Make sure, and when it comes to these trimmers especially, you got to be careful because the corner of the blades is where it's going to cut most. So be cautious of that, especially with the wall detailers, because they do tend to bite, scratch, and cut people up. So be careful with that, especially if you're going to zero cut them as well. So yeah, right here I'm staying real consistent with my cuts. Just tapping and pulling out, pulling away from the hair. Simple to like lining up the front. Starting attacking that C cup. Just lower my chair down, just and adjusting it so I get comfortable. Attacking the side. Okay, one thing when it comes to lining up the C cup, you guys, I use my pinky, my right pinky. But yeah, when it comes to lining up this side of the bush, I use my right pinky and I pivot, and I use that as a pivot. So I turn my wrist into the C, so to say, and I use the corner, and I pay attention to where I'm going. I don't look at where I'm at, I always look at where I'm going. So make sure you look at the tip of the side, so to say. See where I just lined up that part right there? Make sure you look at the sides. Start right there, use that pinky. Yeah, you see exactly, just like that. And that becomes a C cup, all right? All right, so right here, as you can see, I have clamps in his afro. The only reason why I'm doing that is because I do not want long hair in the way of the baby hairs. I'm gonna separate the long hair from the long hairs by using the clamps. What you do is you just comb the hair back, and you separate the long hairs from the baby hairs, and you line up the baby hairs. Don't get me wrong, like, it is going to be frustrating doing this thing. You have to be very patient and take your time with this, because if you rush this, you're gonna have like a sloppy separation of hair, and the lineup's gonna be messed up and stuff like that. So you gotta be very patient when it comes to things like that. Like, take your time. There's no rush when you do these things, okay? Like 10 months in the game, like, you really have to take your time, man. Like, on everything, you really have to. So yeah, so when you have the long hair pinned back or whatever, make sure you comb the baby hairs down so you can see it in place, and step back, look at the difference, look at each side of the hairline, because people will have all kinds of different kind of hairlines. You're not gonna have a perfect hairline every single time you get a client in your chair, okay? Look back, make sure like one side is gonna be higher than the other, one side is gonna be lower than the other. You got to compensate and make sure everything's even. So yeah, make sure you look at all things from different angles, because people are gonna notice that. All right, guys, this is the final look of the cut. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial video. If you guys are new to my channel, please subscribe. I'm new to YouTube. I just started a couple days ago. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And I'll see you guys in the next video. QDG out. Peace.